What if I told you the man who changed how we listen, watch, and communicate was once a college dropout, a fire CEO, and a broken man? He had no money, no degree, and at one point, even Apple, the company he created, didn't want him. But he didn't quit. Instead, he came back and revolutionized the world. This is not just a story of Steve Jobs, it's a story of vision, rejection, and a comeback that made history. Steve wasn't born into luxury. He was adopted, raised by a mechanic and bookkeeper in California. Even as a child, he was different, curious, intense, obsessed with how things worked. While other kids played games, Steve took apart radios. He never liked being told what to do. School bored him. Authority frustrated him. But inside that restless boy was a visionary mind. Steve Jobs and his friend Steve Wozniak built the first Apple computer. No fancy office, no investors, just a dream in soldering iron. Soon Apple became a revolution. Personal computers weren't just for geeks anymore. They were for everyone. By age 25, Steve was a millionaire. By 30, a global icon. But success didn't often him. It made him more focused, more intense, and not everyone could keep up. In 1985, just 10 years after founding Apple, Steve Jobs was fired by his own board of directors. He built the company from nothing, and they told him he wasn't fit to lead it. For most, that would be the end. But for Steve, it was the beginning. He once said, "Getting fired from Apple was the best thing that ever happened to me." He started over, found the next, bought a teeny animation studio called Pixar, and turned it into a storytelling empire. Apple was struggling without them, and in 1997, it made the smartest decision it ever had. It brought Steve Jobs back, and then came the iMac, the iPad, the iPhone. He didn't just lead Apple, he innovated the way we live. He believed in simplicity, beauty, obsession with detail, and the power of single idea to change the world. He said, "Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose." Even after cancer hit him, he kept building, he kept creating. Because for Steve Jobs, life wasn't about living long, it was about living loud. Maybe you are misunderstood, maybe you are failed, maybe people have told you you can't do it. Steve Jobs shows us that it is not where you start, it is what you believe. When the word says quiet, your heart has to say not yet, because the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who actually do. If this story touched something inside you, don't just scroll away. Like, subscribe, and join this journey. Here we don't just tell stories, we build fire inside you. If Steve Jobs turned failure into greatness, what's stopping you? Let me know in the comment section.